Go. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. During the declared emergency in the City of Toronto, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements and a provincial order that limit attendance at public gatherings. My name is Isaac Lalouz, and I will be chairing the hearing. The committee members participating today by WebEx and can be seen and heard are Ms. Sankar, Ms. Atarodi, and Mr. Bartolo. City staff will be assisting us throughout the meeting, including moderating the WebEx platform. Participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentation to the committee using the said WebEx, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may do so by watching on YouTube. These participants will be connecting either by their computer, a phone or tablet app, or by telephone. All participants will be automatically be muted upon entry, and when your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. Only the committee members will be participating by video. Any registered participant will be participating by audio only. We ask that you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak, and please have only one electronic device on at a time to avoid background echoing. Land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, including the Métis and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Section 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provision of the zoning bylaw that applies to property, permission to extend or alter legal non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone in attendance today who wants to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please include your name, address, and email address, because Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email only. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, decisions may be appealed to the Toronto local appeal body known as TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the local planning appeal tribunal known as LPAT. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. The hearing today will be as follows. I will call each item in the order listed in the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with their presentation if required. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter into the committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when the 5-minute mark is reached. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application only. Where required, the applicant or agent will proceed first and will make the presentation to the committee of the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure that the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to receive a notice are informed of the changes. Then individuals in support or in opposition to the application will be invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker at the end of the presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant agent has the chance to address only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussions, and the application will be taken to committee for a decision. Now, I understand there is no minutes to approve, okay? members and staff, any conflicts of interest to declare for this morning session? No? Okay. So deferral, I understand we have number 2 to be deferred. And is there any files to close, Mr. Deputy? No. Okay, so we have item number 2, Mr. Guzzi. Mr. Guzzi, are you there? Mr. Guzzi, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Good morning.
I am. Thank you.
For the records,
morning.
we need you to state your name and address, please.
So my name is Joseph Guzzi. For my residential address
Yes.
or the address of
No, your personal address.
24 Maple View Avenue, Toronto,
Thank you.
M6S 3A7.
Very good. Thank you. Now, you're asking for a deferral of the application. Could you please tell us why do you want the application to be deferred?
Yes. So we're asking for the deferral because we've recently received comments from TRCA in its letter to the committee dated August 12th. Since we received this letter last week, we have been in contact with TRCA, but we have not been able to directly connect with either the author of the letter or their senior manager, as both appear to be on holidays this week. So we need to schedule a call with TRCA so we can get their input on issues, given that the application is essentially a technical consent. And the deferral of the application will allow us time to meet with them and to fully understand the impact of their comments on our clients' lands.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, that's fine. So the deferral is to address the concerns of TRCA. So let's see what the members, we have a request to defer the application for discussions with the TRCA. We have to do it sunny day as checked with the staff. Could you please, do I have a motion to defer sunny day? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, sir. Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll motion to approve this deferral so that the applicant can get a chance to meet with TRCA.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar.
Sunny
Second?
day.
Sunny day. Thank you. Second, Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? Okay. Okay, your application, Mr. Guzzi, is deferred sunny day, and you're all set to discuss with the TRCA.
Thank you.
Now we start the agenda. That's the only one we have this morning for deferral, right? That's the only one. Okay. Item number 1, 366 and 388 Willowdale Avenue. And for members, we have staff report recommending the refusal. We have engineering report, no objection. Forestry condition 2 and 5. We have 3 letters of support, of opposition, and 4 letters of support. And we have a letter from the councillor who is supporting the staff assessment and also recommending refusal. So let's see, Mr. Hosseini. Mr. Hosseini, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, can you please state your name and address for the records here?
Mehdi Hosseini, 201 Stills Avenue East, Northchurch, Ontario.
Okay, we have 2 more speakers here beside you, and therefore we need a presentation. So please address the concerns and tell us the merit of your application, and you'll have 5 minutes. You'll have 5 minutes, and I'm starting the clock right now.
So, Mr. Chair, are we dealing with the consent first and the minor variances later, or are we going to deal with all of them at once?
No, your application on block for the 2. Start
Okay.
whatever you want. You have one consent. You have the consent and 3 variance applications. So please
Yeah.
structure your presentation the way you want, and I'm starting the clock right now.
So, good morning, everyone. I'm here to present regarding this severance request. So we are proposing to sever 2 lots that are facing towards Villadale Avenue to 3 lots towards Mackey Avenue. Each one they're going to have 12.78 meters frontage for 2 of them, and the last one, the corner, is going to have 13 meters, 0.11 frontage. I read the staff report, and the only concerns that we had, and even I talked to the planning department regarding this, they chose the location for the study, which we are not agree with. They chose corner of Mackey, the location of the property, going towards west and south towards Shepherd Avenue. And if they were just going towards the other side, so going towards north and east side, and on the area, like for example, on the south and east of Mackey and Villadale, we have a big zone of R4, which is going to be similar to the ones that we are proposing. And also to the northeast side of Mackey and Villadale, we're going to have a big area, including Holmes Avenue and Olive Avenue, that they have R4 zone as well. So if they, instead of they doing their study and using the property as a border, if they're putting the property in the middle somehow, they would have better understanding of this character, and the proposal that we have is kind of matching with the neighborhood. Especially on the corridor of Villadale, we have a lot of houses, a lot of properties being severed before. I have some of the addresses here that they can tell you guys. So the comparables are like this address is 370 and 372 Villadale Avenue, 143 Norton and 360 Villadale Avenue, 188 Princess Avenue, 185 and 198 Empress Avenue, 188 Elmwood Avenue, and so on. So we have lots of properties on that corridor being severed to the similar idea, and even with a smaller lot size. Now, on the other hand, I received a letter from the neighbors. One of them is 148 Mackey, which is the property right behind these 2 properties. And they have a concern regarding the side yard. I'm just going to explain this, that why we had to put that 1.2 meters on that side. And the reason for it is Toronto Hydro pole. So if the Toronto Hydro pole was moving, then we didn't even need to apply for that side yard. That's one of the points. Another, and by the way, that number 148, they have lot 25 themselves, and they have 0.9 meters of setback. So I don't know why they're objecting to 1.2 meters. That's one of the things. They asked for the height. So the height that you're asking for 9.1 meters instead of 8.8 meters, that's within the box of 10 meters from the established grade. So even though if we don't get that and we get 8.8 meters of height, we're still going to have the same mass. So that's another point. Another one that they ask is the wall height. So the wall height, we're just asking for the dormer window on the side of this house. Now, I have some of these minor variances that we're changing. So I would like to know if you guys like to take a note of this. I can go on each house and tell you which ones are removing and which ones are changing. Should I go ahead?
Are you finished? Do you want to say which ones you want to remove?
Yes. So on application A0125, which is house A, I'm going to go through this. So number 1 is the side yard that I explained that 1.2 meters we need. Number two, it's the driveway that transportation has no problem with that. Number three and four is related to the consent. Number five, we're going to remove that's going to be the front yard setback. So that's a really minor thing we're going to remove. Number six, which is the examiner got 33.02%. For some reason, I don't understand it. We're having actually 32% of coverage, not 33%. So we're changing that to 32%.
Mr. Husseini, you have to summarize a little bit because you're over 5 minutes already.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I have to just show you that, just tell you guys the changes, and then I'm done.
Okay.
So now I'm going to go to application. Next one, application. I'm going to tell you this. A0124, House B. For this one, number one is being removed. Number two is being removed. Number three is being removed. Number four is being removed. Number five stays. Number six stays. Number seven stays. Number eight is changing to 32%. And number 9 is removed. Number 10 is removed. And number 11 is just the dormer, so it stays. Number 12 is stays. And in regards to the last application, which is going to be the house C, which is application A0126. So for this one, minor variance number 1 is going to be changed to 32%. Number 3, 2, 3, 4 is staying. 5 is staying. 6 is staying. Number 7 is being removed. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay.
And if there's any question, I would be happy to answer.
Those are your changes. Okay, so let's. We're going to listen from the area residents, and then we'll call you back to address their concern. Okay. So we have here registered Sami Osman. Are you there? Sami Osman, are you there, please?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Okay, so for the record, please state your name and address.
Well, my name is Sameh Osman Abdelghani, and the address is 148 Maki Avenue, Toronto.
Okay, and what's your concern about the, you have 5 minutes to tell us what's
Yeah,
your
for
concern.
sure. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So actually, first of all, I'm welcoming Mr. Husseini to be a neighbor. But our concern is that we bought our house just like a couple of months ago, and there was kind of the backyard of the adjacent house to us. So we didn't know by that time that there is a plan for building new houses, which we are okay with that. We are not disagreeing for building new houses. But our concern is that the first point that Mr. Husseini is requesting the said backyard to be, instead of 1.8 meter, to reduce it almost like 60 centimeter, which is kind of a lot, to be set back to 1.224 meters. I know he's blaming us that we already, we just came to know right now from him that our set side backyard is 0.9 meters. So we shouldn't be blamed that the builder has been taken the the agreement of the city to reduce the distance between the building and the adjacent building. But if we kept doing that, so the distance is going to be very narrow. It's kind of narrow corridor. So I'm concerned with the safety if something like accident happened or fires or whatever. And I guess the flow of the air in between building, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm a doctor. So I'm concerned about being like very narrow corridors in between the buildings. and especially that Mr. Hosseini, he kept the distance exactly the same in between his new buildings, but he didn't keep the same distance between his last building and our building. So, which is, so that's why we got kind of annoyed because he didn't, he's trying to get this advantage of having less distance between his building, house A and our building. And despite that, he didn't touch the other two buildings. I know that he wants to build like bigger houses for marketing sales to be like more easy to sell his houses, but this shouldn't be on expense of his neighbor. The other thing I do agree. I guess I do believe that it's going to affect the landscape of the street as well, because I know our lot is kind of a smaller one, so the overall or global view of the street is going to be kind of distorted if we kept reducing the distance in between the houses. The other concern, so he's saying that in his presentation that he did so because of the Toronto Hydro pool. That's why he's requesting this distance to be decreased like 0.6 meter, which is I guess this is a problem that he can solve with Toronto Hydro. Either he can either reduce his house. He doesn't want to reduce the size of his house on expense of his neighbors. That's the feeling that we got actually. The other thing, which is I'm not like expert in it, that he's building over like 33.02% of the land, and he should build over like 30% of the land. And I don't know if this is gonna be like on expense of the green areas. So I'm not sure of that, if this is going to be on expense of the green areas. So I guess we should consider this request as well. Um, for the height of the building, I am okay. I'm not an engineer, as I told you before, but for the height of the building, I don't know even the height of my building right now. So I just want kind of equality of the height. So it's not going to be like, distorting the view, the landscape of the street.
Are you
And
done? Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that you're gonna take the best decision for the interest of the neighborhood, and we just want him to follow the legal measurements already done by the city. So and any exceptions that he's gonna take, it shouldn't be on the expense of his neighbors. That's it.
Thank you. Members,
Thank
any
you.
question for this gentleman? Ms. Sankar, please.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ahmed, I have heard what you've said. I do have a question about the character of the neighborhood as you do live there. And we do have concerns that are being echoed through staff and the councillor about the fact that they don't believe that this property, if it's severed, would meet or reinforce the stability and character of the neighborhood, and that the proposed lot areas and frontages would also weaken that character of the neighborhood. I've heard a little bit about what you've said, and you seem to agree with that. And I just wanted to understand, is that true? Do you believe that it does not fit the character of the neighborhood to do the severances as well as the lot frontages, etc., that you've described?
Well, to be honest with you, yeah, we were living in North York in Hollywood Avenue, and we just moved like 1 month ago. We bought the house on June 25th. The closing date was on June 25th. So we are not so familiar with the area yet or the neighborhood. Even we don't know, still we don't know our neighbors, to be honest. But I do believe that, yeah, there is kind of a style in the street for the building, especially it's kind of an old one. But what I can see is that the new building are almost having the same style, which is something I guess it's going to be good for the future being, not for the time being, but for the future, because definitely this old building at one point is going to be rebuilt again. right? So with building with the new styles, I guess the street is gonna have a good plan. As long as we follow the law of the city. I mean, if we don't give like so many kind of exceptions, which is gonna affect the global view or the landscape of the street, it's gonna be good.
Okay, thank you. Any other
Thank you.
question for this gentleman, the members? No? Okay. Okay, thank you. We'll have the applicant is going to come back after and they'll address your concern, but you have finished your presentation and you heard from our members that what we think about the application. Thank you. Next one we have on the list is Sami Abdelghani. Sami Abdelghani, are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, Sammy is not present on the call.
Okay, so we remove that one. Okay, Mr. Hosseini, would you like to come back and address those concerns?
Yes. So in regards to to their points of the size of the lot, I'm explaining again that the study that the planning department did, we are not agree with it because the way that they did the number of the lots in their study, they chose a really big area towards south. They didn't include the north and the east. If they were doing that with the numbers that we calculated, we are actually sitting in the really nice neighborhood with nice size lots that they're fitting with the character of the neighborhood. And this size of the lot, in that area, you see a lot of them. And you're all familiar with the area. You know how the size of the houses there. And the character of the architectural drawings that they proposed actually fitting with the character of the neighborhood as well. In regards to the size of the lot, as the neighbor explained, their house is actually 25 feet frontage. And the houses behind their houses on Church Avenue, they have 25 feet frontage. So I don't understand how come their house is not going to affect neighborhood character while they are 25 feet, which is half of the size of the 50 feet required. And they didn't even build the house based on the zoning bylaw. So they have gone through the committee of adjustment before to build the house. And now they don't accept it for their neighbors. And in regards to the Toronto Hydro pole, I'm going to promise this. If the Toronto Hydro moving that pole, we have no problem to push the house to the middle, which is going to be even nicer in our design. And also, the only thing that I just want to say, the Councilor Filion letter was based on the planning department's decision, and planning department actually made a mistake by doing that study. So that's my point. Their study is not accurate. And the numbers that they got, because they studied the area that's not related to this location of the property. So that's my point, and I want the members of the committee to consider that it's not just one person as a planner take a look at the area and just putting the numbers together and saying this is the number, and we're going to say, oh yes, that's everything's fine. I understand and I respect the planning department, but the way that they did this study, I'm not, and I think the study is a wrong study. It's not a really right study for this property. I will be happy to answer more questions.
Okay, thank you. Any other question for this gentleman? We have he finished the response, so you can have a question if you want to. No? Okay. All right, so we'll go to motion then. Do I have a motion, Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. Listen, I could only rely on what's in front of me. And what's in front of me is an actual report from the expertise that we rely on to provide us with enough information to help us make the decisions. Whether that information is inaccurate, unfairly done, misassessed, is not my concern at this point, because before me, I see the expertise telling me that this is why a decision was made. I've got a counselor that's backing it. I've got a neighbor who's recently moved in the neighborhood and honestly said that the landscape does not seem, if you did the severances and made the frontages the way you did, it would not match the character of this neighborhood. So with all of that, I've got to make an informed decision myself, and not having any other pieces of evidence in front of me, I could only use what's in front of me. So my motion is to refuse this application.
Thank you. Ms. Sankar to refuse. Second, do I have a second? Ms. Atarodi, all in favor? Opposed? Mr. Bartolo is opposing. And sir, your application has been refused. We're calling item number 3, which is 54 Baycrest Avenue. And this, for members, this is a new addition to the existing dwelling. We have 7 variances. Transportation has no objection, just a condition for the site plan. We have it shows here the agent. Is the agent here, Mr. Moderator? He's here, yeah? Okay. Okay, Mr. Iders, are you there?
I am.
Okay, could you please state your... Okay, for the records, we need your name and address, please.
My name is Richard Idels, I-D-E-L-S. I'm the architect. My address is 8080 North Meadow Crescent, Thornhill, Ontario.
Okay, thank you. Because we have another speaker, so we'll need your presentation. You have 5 minutes, and I will start the clock right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm the architect. We have worked closely with the client, which is a young growing family, to transform an existing older house to something that is more up to date in terms of all the things that people look for in homes without being overly large. We're not asking for a height variance. We've done what we believe are minor variances, and all the variances that we have asked for, we have done our due diligence. We have gotten decisions from the neighborhood close and far to be sure that we are not asking for anything that has not been approved by the committee in the past. And everything that we are asking for has been approved in various houses. And I have the details, but I won't go into them now. But if anyone wants, I have decisions that were made as I'm speaking. Referring to. There are 4 letters of approval, of acceptance, of that they accept the do not that they're supporting this application. And we had 4. Are you hearing me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Okay. I have 4 letters of support that we have forwarded to the committee. I think we recently forwarded them, so I don't know if the committee actually got it. We didn't get confirmation. But people that are on the street, people that are across the street, and the people that are close, physically close to here. As the chairman noted, we do have the parking situation, allowing the legal parking spot in the front of the house was okayed by the transportation and the planning department, and the notation that they asked for was that on the site plan that we put a note saying that all the portions of anything that's existing, any access drivings that are not being used, will have to be restored with soft landscaping, et cetera, which of course we will do. And I believe that is all I have to say. Again, we tried hard to stay within, the past decisions of the committee. And it's a young growing family that loves living in North York, and we hope we will have the committee's approval. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll have you back after the other speaker is. What's that? I don't see the members here. Okay. Yeah, we have another speaker, so the agent will be back. So if you have any questions in the meantime, until he comes back? No? Okay, so we have a registered name, Igor Lozovsky. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. Are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, Igor is not present.
Oh, boy. Okay. So he's not there. He's not there. So any question for the agent? No? If there is no question, can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar? Was it Ms. Sankar or Ms.
I was
Attarodi?
trying to give my other members a chance, but okay, since you've called on me,
Mi-
no problem. I'll put through a motion, Mr. Chair, through you. I believe that this is minor in looking at this. I do believe it meets the 4 tests. I don't have the letters of support, but I do believe you are telling us the truth about that because I don't see any letters of non-support. And as well, there's no objections from transport. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application as is.
Yeah, Ms. Sankar, you're right. There is no, I haven't any support or opposition either. So, Ms. Sankar to approve, and Ms. Sankar, there is a condition of transportation.
Sure, subject to transport conditions, even though they didn't object.
Thank you. Second? Can I have a second? Ms. Sankar, Ms. Attarodi, all in favor? Okay. Thank you. Your application is approved unanimously with the condition to transportation that is asking for notation on the site plan as to no longer required driveways. You saw that, okay? So,
Yes, I did. Thank
okay.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We go to item number 4. Members, item number 4 is to construct a new dwelling. We have the 3 variances and 8 letters of support. So that's it. Mr. Enzo Locisano.
Yes, I'm here.
Is that how I pronounce it? Locisano?
Locisano, that's correct.
Very good. Okay. So we have your, we have here the information in front of us. I'll ask members, do we need a presentation? There is no other man to speak. No? We don't need presentation. So any questions to the agent? No questions, so can I have a motion then? Mr. Bartolo?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion to approve this application.
Can you please speak up? I think there's some...
Move my microphone a little bit there. Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion to approve this application as is.
Thank you. Second? Do I have second? Ms. Sankar, all in favor? Opposed? Ms. Attarodi is opposing. Okay. Sir, your application is approved and there's no condition. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Number 5 is a 15 Joyce Parkway. We have to construct a 2nd floor addition and 2-story additions, front and east and rear deck. We have 5 variances and we have 14 letters of support and 1 concern. The concern is for the deferral. I don't know, we'll hear her. So, Mr. Who do we have here? Saba Al-Matno. Is that what it is?
Good morning.
You're there.
Yes, it is.
You're there.
Close
Okay.
enough.
Okay. We have another speaker here, so therefore we need you to make a small presentation, and you have 5 minutes to tell us the merit of your application.
Absolutely. So what we are presenting here is we have a minor addition at the front of 1.7 meter and a rear deck at the back and a side addition. We have maintained all existing side yard setbacks, and the 5 variances we are asking for is the lot coverage 38.8 instead of 35%. The second variance is the height of 1st floor, which is existing. We are just maintaining the same height of the ground floor, so this is existing to remain. The building length 18.82 meter. This is due to the only the rear deck. It's not from the buildings because we are adding a covered deck at the back or a covered porch. The length of that porch is 1.83, hence this length variance come. And then both side yard setbacks, as I suggested, we are maintaining the side yard setbacks on both sides. We have, in fact, 16 letters of support since yesterday. 2 more neighbors came, and only letter of objection from the next door neighbor. I have personally emailed him the same day or the very next day he sent his objection, and I copied the committee of adjustment. I asked if he could contact us so we could explain to him, because mostly there were some misunderstanding. His issues were drainage, and for sure the drainage problem will be taken care of during the building permit application. The city staff will be looking at anything. We don't have a height variance. So basically, this is my presentation.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have the person coming back. And yes, we had 14 letters registered as supporters, and you said you got 2 more yesterday. And we'll see what this concern of this person. I think he's from 17.
Correct.
The others is 17. Members, we're going to have the member back, but do you need any question in the meantime? We'll have him back. Okay, so we'll call on the Brandon Carral. Are you there?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. Can you please?
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Can you please state your name and address for the records here?
Yes, my name is Braden Carroll. I own and live at 17 Joyce Parkway, immediately next door to the property in question.
Okay. And tell us what's your concern. You have 5 minutes.
I ask that you bear with me a moment, hear me out before you immediately dismiss some of my concerns. I'll explain why momentarily. I have never been part of any type of process like this. I have no experience with the building or real estate industry, so I would ask for you to consider my lack of experience in this process. I have been advised verbally by city employees that shadow and lighting concerns are not within the scope of decisions of this hearing to approve or disapprove the applicant's zoning variances. However, yesterday when I observed a committee of adjustment meeting, they did seem to hear such concerns when I listened to a portion of it, just to gain a sense of the process. I have been advised verbally and confirmed via email from city employees that drainage and flooding is not in scope for the decision to approve the applicant's zoning variances, and is considered later on during the building application process. I am aware of such policy. However, I would like to submit my rationale for why I'm requesting more time to consider hiring a professional to further assess my concerns about drainage. I believe flooding and drainage are a serious concern relating to the application. I believe there are certain items of zoning bylaw notice April 27th, 2020, relating a significant increase in roof area also represents a major change in configuration of the roof plan or roof design of the existing building. The proposed building I believe significantly will increase drainage concerns from downspouts that will also increase flood concerns for my property, 17 Joyce Parkway. I believe also that these same concerns may increase winter-related hazards and/or blockage of water flow that could have a serious impact to 17 Joyce Parkway. The existing applicant drawings confirm an important factor with respect to drainage flood risks, and this is related to elevation differences. This was also identified in a successful downspout application to the City of Toronto for 17 Joyce Parkway about 7 years ago. The successful application noted a storm sewer with an open grate was installed by the city many years ago to assist in reducing flood risks to my property. However, even with the storm sewer that has an open grate to take in excess water, there is still frequently excess rainwater presented near the rear, the south side of 17 Joyce Parkway. And that's taking into account modifications that were done to improve drainage and reduce the risk of flooding. The current application's roof plan, I believe, will increase rainfall. I'm sorry, I'm not sure the proper term, runoff, significantly with increased size of building. It will also reduce green space that will drain towards 17 Joyce Parkway compared to the existing roof plan of the existing building. Bear with me just a moment, I'm just finding my place. The change in the roof plan will add significant volume of water that will end up on the east side of 17 Joyce Parkway, and I believe significantly increase flood risks to my property. I assume there will be gutters for the roof plan. What is not obvious is with the increase of roof area, there are two areas of increased drainage and flood concerns in my estimation. First is the increased volume of water that will have less area and ease due to higher and sloping elevation of 15 Joyce Parkway and reduced green space due to the variance application that will flow to 17 Joyce Parkway. The second issue is a lower rainfall rate. I believe that's probably a higher rainfall rate, will exceed the capacity of the gutters such that rainfall will shed to the entire east side of 17 Joyce Parkway. Both sources and causes of increased rainfall water will almost certainly end up in the backyard of 17 Joyce Parkway as a result of these proposed variances. The proposed roof area increase and significant changes in the roof plan configuration. Hold on, I may be repeating myself here. Bear with me just a moment. No, sorry. I will continue. The proposed roof area increase.
You have 30 seconds more to finish your 5 minutes. So could you please summarize?
Yes, my concerns are also that water will enter the rear of 17 Joyce Parkway simply because the current patio is graded incorrectly on my property. I would also like to request, relating to my comments, that the two files that I've been submitted, the plan May 4th, 2020, the two versions of that plan do not
Okay,
include...
I'll have to cut you off, please, because you're over the 5 minutes and we have to go on, okay? So here is the, I think the staff gave you a very good suggestion that all those concerns are not the purview of this committee. This committee looks at the variances. If they didn't have these variances, they will go and build, and those all concerns that you mentioned will still be there. So they have to be dealt with other departments, not here. This will look at the variances only. So for the members, do you have any question for this gentleman? No? Okay, so we'll call on the agent. Could you please come back and address those concerns if you can say anything?
Sure, absolutely. I appreciate Brendan's concerns, and so as much as he's concerned about the drainage on his lot, we are absolutely concerned about drainage on our lot as well. And as I mentioned earlier, these drainage concerns will be taken care of during the building permit application. That's normal as any building permit application. Definitely we will have gutters, definitely we will have downspouts. The fact that we have no landscaping variances, we are within the allowable. If we could always seek the experience of a land surveyor or lot grading surveyor just to ensure that there is definitely no runoff water gonna go from our lot to his lot.
Thank you. Any question to the agent here? No? If no questions, can I have a motion, please? Anyone? Ms. Atarodi?
Okay, through you, Mr. Chair, I want to put forward, I think this is a very minor, and I was satisfied with the explanation that the agent provided. And so therefore, I want to put forward a motion to approve this application with no condition.
No conditions. Thank you. Ms. Attarodi to approve. Second. Ms. Sankar, all in favor? Okay. Your application is approved with no conditions unanimously.
So much.
Did you hear that?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Item number 6, which is one 1185 Eglinton Avenue East. We have here the agents just been changed to Laura Dean. Laura Dean, are you there?
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. Your name and your address, please.
Sure. My name is Laura Dean, and I'm a lawyer with Aird & Burles, a law firm, and our address is 181 Bay Street.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a second. We don't have any other person registered here. Members, do we need a presentation? Yes? Okay. Could you please give us a short presentation, and you have 5 minutes to make your presentation.
Certainly. Aird & Burles acts on behalf of Don Meg Development Limited, and that's the owner of the property 1185 Eglinton Avenue East. The site is currently being developed with a residential development that has 2 residential towers, a podium, and townhouse blocks that have a total of 655 residential units. The application that is before you today seeks relief from the minimum width requirements of the bylaw for some of the required parking spaces as part of this development. The committee will note that there is a staff report from Transportation Services that was filed yesterday, August 19th, indicating that Transportation Services has no objection to this application. We had also submitted a report from LEA Consulting Limited, which analyzes the parking space width and noted that it poses no concerns with respect to egress for individuals who would be using those parking spaces. And the reason for the deficiencies is a result of post-construction columns and other wires and various components of the parking garage that encroached onto the minimum parking space width, causing them to be deficient in size for the zoning bylaw. But as I said, Transportation Services has no objection to this and has reviewed the report by our client's transportation consultant, which also found that this does not pose an issue to the functionality of those parking spaces.
Through you,
Okay.
can I say that I have an updated study from parking?
Excuse me. Can you just wait a second, please? Miss Dean, we have here a report here from the transportation, August 10, that asked for refusal. You said you got another one. I'm looking for it. Did you get one recently that said they have no concern?
Yes, so I can explain that. A report was filed just yesterday by Transportation Services, which it really replaces the August 10th report. The August 10th report, we spoke to Transportation Services, or our consultant did, and it turned out that Transportation Services had not reviewed the LEA report that was filed as part of the application. And also, Transportation Services, at the time of writing the original report, wasn't aware of the parking space requirements, which led them to come to the conclusion that they did.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Resolve this
Thank you. Ms. Sankar, could you please go ahead? You wanted to ask a question. Ms. Sankar,
No,
please go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I was just saying that that we don't have that parking report, so I will call on our members, our planning team, if they're able to put that up on the screen.
Mr.
If
Chair and
there's
members.
anything,
Yes.
I know that they'll try to find it, but
Mr.
As of now, if I don't have that in my possession, I see a refusal here.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. I couldn't find it either.
Mr. Chair and members, we are in the process of trying to find that file.
Yeah, I couldn't find it either.
If the agent has the opportunity to send an email to adam.wills@toronto.ca, that could help improve the situation.
Yeah, because I couldn't find it either.
I'd like to know that is on the development application website as of
Yeah.
I believe this morning.
Yes. Hold a second. I found it. It was just transmitted now, and it said here from that's August 19, and the assessment, it said conclusion based on the above, Transportation Service has no objections to the proposed variances. You're right. I just got it. Okay. No, not that one, after that. But that's okay. We have it. Yeah.
And I should mention for the members' benefit.
Can you get
our
the
client is
members? I
scheduled
don't
to
see them.
proceed-
I don't see the members. Okay. Can you find that?
We'll look, yes.
Yeah, I have it.
Sure, and I do need to say that our client is scheduled to proceed to registration of this condominium in the coming months. So it really is critical that these minor variances are.
Yeah.
approved
Just
at this
let
time
let us
without
finish,
delay.
please. Let us find the. I found it, but the staff is trying to find it on their on their end so they can display it. It's signed by Godi Abraham for Luigi. Yeah, it's right here. I think if you look at your, if you look at the sequence that came back, you'll see one on August 19.
Members and staff, or Mr. Chair and staff, we're just waiting on the letter still yet. There was a file that was received yesterday.
Yeah.
But that one on our system is actually from the consultant and not from the City of Toronto Transportation Department.
Yeah.
Would it assist the committee if I email the report? I do have it in my possession.
Okay.
Yes, please send it to adam.wills, WILLS, @toronto.ca.
We have it on our package. I think Ms. Sankar and Ms. Attarod, if you click on the supporting documentations, you'll find that the one transportation report came on August 19. If you click on your supporting documents.
No, it can't be different.
Oh, and I should also mention, I'm sorry, it is attached to the correspondence from our
Yes,
firm.
yeah, the
So,
one that you saw before, yeah.
If you do scroll down, it begins on.
Yes. Yes,
on
you're
page
right.
3.
That's how I found it. Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. That's
Should have
fine.
noted that.
It was attached there.
Members, the item is being presented on screen now.
Good. That's the one that's the one I have. Okay, members, any other question to this agent?
Mr. Chair, there is a question.
Through you, Mr. Chair. There
Oh.
is no question. I'm ready for motion so that we can move this item along. I do believe that it meets the 4 tests. I'm really grateful that everyone worked together as a team to pull that up in front of us because it was critical to the decision. And I understand that the applicant is awaiting us expediting this as well. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. And second, Mr. Bartolo, on in favor? Opposed? Mr. Tarodi is opposing. And your application, Ms. Dean, your application is approved, okay?
Thank you very much. Enjoy the day.
You're welcome. Item number 7, which is 46 Old Colony Road, application number 7, item number 7. So we have here online Edwards Brothers. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, you. We have no other speaker, and we have a communication that you have been elected to be the agent. And I read your letter. Your letter said, you explained how minor you think the variance is, and you said these minor applications of 6 variances is minor. The report we have has 7 variances. Is that a typing error, or you want to remove a variance?
Well, I'm looking at the.
Yeah,
okay.
your letter.
I have-
Check your letter. It said 6 variances, but the staff, the report said 7. If you want to remove,
Okay.
or it's a typing error.
I have one that's been sent to me that has the 6 variants, 5 from the city of Toronto and 1 from North York.
Yeah, the public notice I have, it says 7.
Okay.
Staff, can you check that, please? Sorry? 7, yeah. Yeah, we have 7. So, do you want to correct 7, or we just keep going?
Okay, let's correct and go with the 7.
You want to go to 7? Okay. So, yeah, we have to know in case you want to remove a variance. So, members, we have this is to construct a new dwelling, and the new agent, as you heard, and transportation has no objection. So, can we, sorry? Oh, yeah, okay. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Mr. Brother, okay. For the records, we need your name and address. The staff needs your name and address.
Edward Broders, 2191 Yonge Street,
Thank you.
Suite 2708.
Thank you. So any members, any question for this agent? Ms. Sankar has a question.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. The question I have is that the lot coverage, the proposed lot coverage is a little bit more significant, and I know that it might be in the form of platforms, et cetera, but can you just confirm that, please?
Mr. Brothers, did you hear the question?
Yes, sorry. Yes, we were asking for 30.4%, and it includes those platforms as shown in the drawings.
If we had to remove those platforms, you're saying it would be closer to the 25%?
Yes, would you be willing to do that? Okay.
Okay, did that answer the question? Yeah?
Okay, no, I have the architect with me here too. I would suggest that if it's going to be yeah. Okay.
So you're confirming that
the
it'll
architect is
be...
saying that 34%.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. I've actually submitted supplemental material for my presentation. May I please ask staff to pull it up?
Staff is pulling up the document.
So please go ahead. Is that the thing from the architect on August 13?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I saw it. Very elaborate with lots of houses on the street. So please go ahead. And I don't want to rob you from your 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I'll start speaking while it's pulled up. So this is a proposal for a single-family detached dwelling near Eglinton and the Allen, which is a neighborhood full of families where the homeowners have lived for over 5 years now. Today we are seeking 9 variances to the bylaws. An important component of our process is undertaking a study of the surrounding neighborhood to establish the neighborhood fabric. Although I understand that the committee doesn't formally recognize precedent, we pulled previous relevant committee decisions and plans, as well as completed a walking tour of the area in order for us to understand this language of the neighborhood fabric and to design something that's consistent. The homes in this area are built around the 1930s, and while many of the original homes still exist, there has been a lot of change in the past 10 years. Currently, there's at least one home under construction on every single block. It's impossible to drive through, and I would go so far as to call this a rapidly changing neighborhood. In addition to all of this construction, this particular lot, 117 Wembley, backs onto Eglinton, onto what is currently a commuter lot for the Eglinton West subway station, but is slated for redevelopment and densification after the completion of the LRT. We immediately identified several homes within the immediate surroundings of our site and used these as benchmarks when we were creating our own design. Can you go to the next slide, please? So our clients are a busy family with 2 working parents and 3 very active children. One of their must-haves on their wish list was parking for 2 cars, integrated parking. This lot is only 37 feet wide, so while a 2-car garage is possible, it was the familiar decision between having the parking eat up 30 to 40% of the ground floor plan, or elevating the ground floor over the garage. We chose the latter and found this to be consistent within the language of new houses in the area. This particular decision is the genesis of several of our variances. Elevating the ground and second floor over the garage makes this a 3-story dwelling by definition. Then the floor area of the basement is now included in the floor space index, inflating the final number that you see, and this increases the overall height as well. In addition, we have a large rear platform, technically that's proposed, but it's not for use at the ground floor. It's actually to create a covered waterproof area outside of the basement to create a relationship where the parents can watch their children play in the backyard on the same level and not one full story up. Within 2 blocks of the house, there are other homes that are equal to or taller to our proposed dwelling, and all of these are 3 stories, including one that's technically 4 stories. So if you go through the next couple of slides, I just did a couple of comparisons with the elevations. If you keep going, that I'm sure some of you may have had a chance to look through already. So this one, for example, is a house just on the next block over. And if you go to the next slide, this is another house on Wembley that has 3 stories elevated over the garage. And the next slide, please. There's one other variance I'd like to draw your attention to, which is the front yard setback. The street curves, and our building is following the line of the street and the setbacks of the adjacent houses. At grade, we're following the setback pattern completely. However, we have a cantilever of the second floor over the ground floor. So on the west side, we're set back 5.82 meters on the cantilever of the required 6.14. You can see the red dashed line to the right is the property line, and the red dashed line to the left is the required setback. And then our proposed building is that shape that steps back with a curve. But as the street cuts closer to the house on the east side, on the very corner, the shortest distance between the second floor cantilever and the property line is 2.03 meters, and this is what's triggering the number for the variance. I'd like to mention that we worked very collaboratively throughout this entire process to come up with a design that could be supported by everyone. All of the neighbors are in support of this proposal. With planning, we worked amicably together and even offered some compromises in terms of building height, length, and the way we would use the rear platform and the size of the rear platform. But I was really shocked to learn that 3-story homes are a hard limit for planning, no matter what the factors are, and even in a neighborhood such as this one. And since our planner indicated that she wouldn't change her recommendation because of the 3 stories, we decided to put forward the original design. I hope that the committee will consider this proposal in the context of the rapidly changing neighborhood and agree that it does meet the 4 tests.
Thank you, Ms. Eisen. Question, the staff recommendation that was submitted for refusal was August 10, and your correspondence with the architect's elaborate explanation was August 13. Did you pursue with the staff to analyze it and see if they changed their mind?
Yes, we had sent not this exact report, but some of the tables that are included in the later pages of the report. And as I mentioned, I think her inflexibility came with the 3 stories, and for that reason, she was recommending the refusal.
Okay. Members, any question? No question? Then I'll need a motion. Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I do know this neighborhood, and I do agree that it is rapidly growing, increasing, and it is fairly common to see the homes of this type of stature and more than 2 stories as well. And I do agree with the letters of support, and you've got the side neighbors as well, not at all disagreeing with you. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application.
Thank you. Is there there's no condition, is there? No. There's no condition here. I have a motion to approve. Can I have a second, please? Second? Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? Opposed? Mr. Tarodi is opposing. Ms. Eisen, your application is approved with no conditions.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Item number 9, which is 2 Groveland Crescent, application number 9. Application number 9, we have no other person registered except the agent. Is agent here, Mr.? Yeah. And the name is Ternanik?
Hello.
Okay, are you there? Mr. Ternanik, are you there? For 2 Groveland, do we have the agent here?
Hello?
Or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
could you please state your name and address for the records
Yeah.
here? And I'll give you,
Yeah.
okay, just 5 minutes. I mean, no, just your name.
Okay.
Your name,
My name
please.
is Zoran Tunanik, miss.
And your address?
Yeah, the address of my address of
You,
your property.
yes, your own, which is 44. Right?
My address is 44 Ramsey Road, and
Right.
the subject of the hearing
Okay.
is Grosvenor, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Members, we have here to construct in 1-story garage addition, 1 variance, and 1 letter of support. That's all we have. Do we need a presentation first? No? No presentation. Then any question or motion, please? Ms. Sankar? Oh, Ms. Sankar first.
Put a motion. Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. This is really simple, and you've also got it's 1 variance, you've got the support of the neighbor on the south side. I'll motion to approve this application.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? Okay, your application is unanimously approved.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Item number 10, 245 Old Young Street. Members, this is to construct, first of all, the agent, are you here? Mr. what, Mihan Didari? Mr. Hidari, hi. Could you please state your name and address for the records here?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chairman, member of the committee. My name is Mehran Haidari, 1019 Don Mills Road, Unit 506.
Thank you. We have another person to speak here. and therefore we need a presentation from you. You have 5 minutes to make a presentation, and I'll start the clock right now, okay?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And actually, I approached the neighborhood and I could have opportunity to talk with Mr. John 247, and I sent the drawing a month ago, I think, and we talked about too many things, and he had concern about the privacy that is affected with the windows for the bedroom and the library. And I got the email confirmation from the owner to planting the tall trees, protecting the windows with his own expense. And so the variance that I have here is minor variances, as you see. And the only things that is more than the old boiler actually is because of the height of the old boiler, and the house is sitting 1.76 meter higher than the street. This is why we have these variances for this niche first floor and the building height. And as you see, there is no staff report, and if there is any question, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. We have here Mr. John Deliakis. Are you there, please? Is he there? Mr. Deliakis, we have your...
Yeah.
Okay, could you please state your name and address?
Yes, my name is John Deliakis at 257 Old Young Street, and with my co-owner wife Barbara Muir, our home is the west.
No, I need your address, please.
247
Old
Young Street.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so please go ahead. Tell us what's your concern about this application.
Yes, we didn't realize it was going to send a letter to your committee. I had thought this hearing would be sufficient. I've met with the architect, Mr. Hidari, was very kindly submitted plans, and we've been discussing our concern. We're appreciative of trying to help with the trees for the windows that will back onto our kitchen. So my main concern that there are two large locust trees on the edge of the proposed building that would be between 4 and 5 feet at the base of the two. The base of the trees is 4 to 5 feet from the edge, the west edge of the building, according to the architect's landscaping plan. And we find it very hard to believe that these trees and their extensive root structures would survive the construction of the building based on the plan. The border on the tree would probably be touching the edge of the building. I don't think it takes a forestry expert. Likely not be possible. We find it essential that to save these two tall trees contribute to a beautiful canopy characteristic for our street in this neighborhood. And the large canopy of these two trees provide very good practical apartments on Upper Canada that directly back onto both properties. And if these trees are lost, it would be a great reduction of privacy in the backyard and greatly reduce the value of both homes. I raised these concerns with the architect, but I as much as thought about it more, and I think we're therefore demanding that the application be denied as presently drawn. We also demand that the application be conditional on forestry approval, of course. The second point to make is the size of the proposed building over 7.
Can you please speak to the microphone there, because you're cutting off?
Yes. Okay. The second point is that the excessive size of the proposed building at 7,300.
It's still, do you have any other device open there, because you're cutting off?
Oh, here, let me put.
You must have some other device open there.
This headphone. Yes. Oh. Let me plug in this. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Now?
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's better.
Okay.
Okay.
The second point to make is that the excessive size of the proposed building at 73, which is going to be 7,300 square feet, is not in keeping with the character of the other homes on the north side of the street have large greens in the front and backyard, which create a large green space and beautiful views to the benefit of all the residents. 43, and I don't know if they've had time to.
You're cutting off again.
Mr. Chair, it's very choppy on my end. I can't
Hello?
understand.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's
Mr. Chair, members, I think it might be an internet connection problem
now?
more than anything.
Yeah. Okay. The staffer thinks it may be an internet connection, so please go ahead. We'll try to make up what you're saying.
Do you want me to repeat the last bit?
If you wish, yeah, I'll give you another minute.
Okay, so you got the part about the conditional on forestry approval. Did you hear until that part? That we were demanding that the application be denied, is presently drawn. Did you hear that part?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead,
Yes,
please.
you heard
Yeah,
that?
that one is okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the second point was that the excessive size of the building at over 7,300 square feet is not in keeping with the character of the other homes on the north side of the street in terms of size, and especially because of the plan to reduce the backyard to a fraction of what it was before. Currently, all the homes on the north side of our street have large rolling greens in the front and backyards, which create a large green space and beautiful views to the benefit of all the residents. And finally, we understand that the neighbors on the east side of the building who live at 243 Old Young Street have been trapped overseas because of the pandemic. And I don't know if they've had time to attend virtually or send a representative to confirm if they're for or against this proposal, which will impact them greatly. Thank you. Were you able to hear that?
Thank you. Yeah, you were okay lately. Just a second, maybe the members have a question. Members, any question for this gentleman? No? Okay. So he's the only one after the agent, and we'll call back the agent. Mr. Mehdi? Mehran? Are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you heard the concern of the gentleman from 247, so please address those concerns and you have another 5 minutes.
Okay, so about the trees that as concerned, as I explained to him, we follow the instruction of the urban policy, and for the keeping the trees and preserve the trees, there is the different option for structurally and so to keeping the tree alive. And I agree with Mr. John that this tree is for more than 100 years old, and I really don't want to touch them and remove them, and I will follow the instruction technically that is presented by the urban policy to keep the trees. About the size of the house, as you see in the application, we are lower than the maximum lot coverage, and we don't have the lot coverage variances, and we don't have any setback variances. And the length of the building that is a little bit more than the 17 meter is because we have 0.6 meter projection in the middle of the house in the front for the porch area. And the character of the house is a match with the character of the different houses that is built newly in this neighborhood. And the backyard of this house is facing to the parking lot of the condominium as well, and there is no affecting this backyard again. So I believe this application is reasonable, and I'm more than happy to address Mr. John, the neighbor of 247, and other things that I need to tell that I approached the other neighbor on the east side as well. I went there 2 times, and it looks nobody living there, and and the other house in the front of the building is the new houses that are building. The big houses, the bigger size houses in the street. At this street is something that we are in the limit of the development in that neighborhood.
That's it?
Yes.
Thank you. Questions for this gentleman? Ms. Tarodi, she has question.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I appreciate an explanation regarding the variance number 7, which is the proposed finished first floor height, which is 2.96 meter versus 1.5. What triggered that variance?
Do you want me to explain about these variances?
Yes, please.
Okay, so if you look at the site plan, the center line of the street is 170.84, and the established grade is 172.60. And if you look at the Google street view, you can see the house is sitting at top of the hill, and it's much higher than the street. So this is the technically height variances that we have, and if you see, we don't have any height variances in the new bylaw, and this is what, because of the slope of the street is much lower, and if you see, the garage access to the building is much lower than the location of the building, but it's still higher than the curb and higher than the street.
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm done. If you
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
You're okay? Any other question? No? Okay, then I need a motion, please. Mr. Bartolo?
Through you, Mr. Chair, while I'm sympathetic to the comments of the neighbor, the applicant is correct in that despite the square footage stated earlier, it doesn't have any bearing on the merits of this application here because they're within their rights in that respect. And given the slope of the land and some of the technical nature of what's being expressed here, it's my opinion that this variance is minor, and I'd like to put forward a proposal to approve the application.
Thank you, and there's no condition. Second, Ms. Sankar, all in favor? Unanimously. Thank you. So your application is unanimously approved and there is no conditions.
Thank you so much and have a good day.
Okay. We have item number 11. Item 11 for the members. This is a ground floor rear addition and a new second floor. 5 variances. There is a staff report only recommending the fencing along the deck of 1.5 meter, and the agent is the only one listed here, Mohammed Emel. Mr. Emel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Could you please state your name and address, please?
Yeah, Mohammed Emel, 150 Bowie Avenue. I'm representing for the application.
Okay, and we have here, there's no other person speaks here. Staff, do we need a presentation? No? Any question for this gentleman? No questions? So can I have a motion then? Ms. Tarodi, yes?
Mr. Chair, I believe that this application is, the variance they asked is very minor, and I want to, through you, Mr. Chair, want to put forward a motion to approve this application. And I also want to have the staff recommendation that the applicant is to provide permanent opaque screening and fencing along the west edge of the proposed deck with a minimum height of 1.5 meter from the floor. That's the condition, and with no other forestry or transportation conditions.
Thank you. Second? I have 2 seconds. Mr. Bartolo.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
All in favor? Okay. Your application is approved unanimously.
Thank you.
Item number 12, which is 29 Laurel Crest Avenue. And here we have the to construct a new detached residential dwelling. Staff report has condition to develop in according to the submitted site plan, and forestry has conditions 2 and 3. We have here one agent listed, Mr. Lasco, sorry. Mr. Drew Lasco, are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
Here. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
could you please state your name and address for our records here?
Sure. Drew Laszlo, agent for the owner, 3317 Young Street.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't have any other person registered. I'll ask the members, do we need a presentation? No? So any question for this agent? No? Can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I do believe that this meets the 4 tests. It's minor in nature as well. And I will put forward a motion to approve this application and subject to the staff report where the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing submitted to the Committee of Adjustment. And I will subject it to forestry.
Thank you. Second? Ms. Tarodi, all in favor? Okay, your application is approved, subject to those 2 conditions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Number 13, which is 41 Parkley Road, item number 13, we have to construct a new dwelling, 10 letters of support, communication letters agreement with 2 Vanderhof regarding the concern, forestry condition 1 and 2, and transportation report, no objections. So we have here listed here one agent, the agent, and one other person to speak. So the agent, Eric Calhoun, could you please state your name and address for our records here?
Hi, one correction there. My name is Mike De Oliveira. I will be the agent representing
Oh,
41
okay.
Parkley Drive.
Okay, did you get that, or can?
I work with Replacement Design, which is owned by Eric Calhoun.
Mr. Chair and members, there was a bit of confusion. The agents did not officially register to say who was going to be speaking. So
Okay.
city staff took that as the applicant on the file as the speaker. And as you can see, we have Mike D. Oliveri here to speak
he's
now
okay.
instead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So please, you told us your name, and let me just, we have one more speaker here. Therefore, we have to listen to them, and then we'll get you back here. In the meantime, any short question for these gentlemen? No? Okay, so we'll call on Judy, IM or LM. Are you there?
Hi.
Could you please state your name and address for the records here?
My name is Judy M., and I am the owner of a 2-story house located at 2 Vanderhoof Avenue.
Thank you. And tell us what's your concern about this application.
So as you will hear, this project involves the replacement of a single-story 34 by 24-foot house with a 2-story 58 by 26-foot residence that is 0.605 times the area of the lot and has a street presence that is twice as wide as any other residence on Rumsey Street. In particular, it is obvious from the project drawings which are attached to the application that it will result in the removal or death of 2 large city streets presently located on the west side of 41 Park Lee. You can see these trees on drawing Z1 of the application. There are also some large mature private trees located south of the property line between 2 Vanderhoof Avenue, my house, and 41 Parkley Drive, which may be impacted by the project. They're not seen on the drawings, but if you look at drawing Z1, it's on the east side of on the left side of the drawings between the 2 existing garages. Currently and collectively, these city trees to the west and private trees to the east provide full leaf coverage and privacy between 2 Vanderhoof Avenue and 41 Parkley. It was previously my intention to object to the application because of the significant impact, in my view, of the proposed project on the enjoyment of my property located at 2 Vanderhoof Avenue, which is immediately south of 41 Parkley Drive. However, in return for my agreement to withdraw any objections that I may have about the application, the owners of 41 Parkley Drive have agreed to 5 conditions, 2 of which include amendments to the current project drawings attached to the application in order to preserve our mutual privacy. So Amendment 1, and you'll see that in my letter, which is on file, it's in respect of the second floor ensuite window facing south, and the amendment is to make use of frosted glass in the bottom 2 panels. These windows can be seen in drawing Z9 of the application. In respect of the second agreement is an amendment to the existing drawings in respect of the master bedroom facing south to decrease its current total height to a total height matching the ensuite windows as currently specified in the project drawings. Again, you can see this window in drawing Z9. Also, condition 3, to entirely assume all costs associated with the removal of the current fence and replacement with a new fence along the property line between 2 Vanderhoof Avenue and 41 Parkley. Condition 4, to make all reasonable efforts to plant mature cedar trees or other mature live trees with a minimum 10-foot height as measured from grade along the property line between 2 Vanderhoof Avenue and 41 Parkley in accordance with any restrictions or specifications stipulated by Urban Forestry in its evaluation of the project. And the final condition, to make all reasonable efforts to ensure that the demolition and construction of the project causes no injuries or damages to the previously mentioned private trees. I'm here to request that this letter be incorporated into any committee decision in respect of the application, and in particular, the modifications to the project drawings with respect to those 2 windows in the current application package. You will hear from the agent after me that this is a joint request as between me and the owners of 41 Parkley, who have also filed a letter setting out this agreement and the agreed to terms and modifications of the project drawings. And you will be, like I said, you'll be hearing from Mr. De Oliveira about this. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the time that you've given me.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt you. I read the letter, I read your letter, and I read the letter of response from the applicant that they're confirming your agreement. The most of the stuff you have in your agreement is what you're saying about the construction and there is some payment and all that stuff. It's a private one. It's there, but as far as our decision, we look at the variances and that's what we decide, and conditions from the planners and so on. So let's see what the members have to ask, and we'll see if we have any. Yes, Ms. Atharodi, do you want a question? No. Okay, so so we saw your letters, and here we have you have condition from the forestry, and we have that's it. We have 10 letters of support. So, members, any question to this speaker? No? So we'll get back, we'll get back Eric Calhoun. No, I mean the one who is
Mike De Oliveri, correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Can you come back, please, and address those concerns?
Hi, yes, Mr. Chair. So we have been in conversation with the owner who you just heard from over the last few weeks, and our client has agreed to the conditions that she laid out before you just now. We will do the changes to the windows in the ensuite and master bedroom, and we're also working with Urban Forestry and the owner to figure out where exactly the trees will be planted along the rear property line to help mitigate the privacy concern. So we're on board with everything they were saying there. The owners have confirmed they agree to it as per the letter that was submitted to the committee. Of course, privacy is a concern for our owner as well, so they're happy to mitigate those items.
Thank you.
In terms,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. In terms of the rest of the variances listed, I put it out to the panel if they want an explanation for any of those items at the moment. But I believe the agreement between the neighbor is confirmed.
That's it? Hello? Are you still there? Okay, did you finish? Yeah?
I have a quick question.
Yeah, you're cutting off there. We don't hear you. Could you please set up your device there?
Sorry, are you asking?
Okay,
a question
now we
or-
hear you. Now we hear you. Okay. Staff, any question for this gentleman? Mr. Bartolo?
Yes, Mr. Chair, could we review the lot coverage, the FSI increase from 0.45 to 0.605? Get an explanation on that quickly, please.
Yeah, certainly. So the homeowner asked us to design the new house. He stressed that it was a property that he wanted his family to grow in over the long run. This is a neighborhood that's experiencing growth with many new homes being constructed, such as 102 Parkway and 36 Parkway, who both went to committee and received approval over the last 4 months for similar FSI variances. With that in mind, we kept to the minimum of all building setbacks and tried to keep the house in line with the neighbors as much as possible. If you look at our variances, 4 of those variances are all related to the canopy setbacks. They're not for the actual building itself. The only building variances we have is for the area and overall length. So with that in mind, we are asking for a 0.605 floor space index, and we're well in line with many of the other homes in the area. As I mentioned, 36 Parkway, which sits on a similar sized lot, was approved for 0.67. We are seeking a difference of 61.28 meters from the 0.45 floor space index in relation to the size of our lot. So I believe we're well in line with houses in the neighborhood. Our lot is also kind of peculiar in the neighborhood, as only this side of the street is subject to the 0.45. The neighbors on the other side of the street and the surrounding streets all seem to have a 0.6 floor space index allowed. So we're well in line with the neighbors in the area. And in terms of other applications that have also been approved under the 0.45 on our street, we're not actually the highest. As I mentioned, 102 Parkway, there's also 108 Parkway that is again subject to the 45%. They've been approved for 0.61 as well. So in terms of the character of the neighborhood, we're well within floor space index that have been approved, and we're trying to keep in line with the development that's happening in the neighborhood. As I said, this is an area that's experiencing a lot of growth. There's a lot of large rear additions, second story additions to bungalows. So there's a lot of development happening here, and I believe we're well in line with the neighborhood.
Okay. Any other question? Mr. Bartolo, go ahead.
Yeah, and just to reconfirm that you're asking to formally tie the conditions laid out in the correspondence between you and the neighbor to your to the conditions in the application?
So we're happy to follow the conditions that the neighbor set out. In terms of changes to the drawings, it was too late to really submit any changes to the windows to committee, as things were already in progress. Everything had been sent out to the neighbors, so we didn't want to modify the drawings that had been submitted. But we're open to the window changes that were requested, and the owner has agreed to those changes.
Okay.
In terms of what the committee can tie.
I'll explain my concern, because I don't want to, nor can we adjudicate private agreements here, but if you're tying specific items to the site plan, we can modify the application.
No, you're right. There's no, as I mentioned before, the agreement between the two of you is agreement that we cannot put it as part of our decision. We decide on the variances and the conditions, but no private. Especially, I read this private includes a lot of construction details during the construction and costs and all that stuff, which really this committee does not get involved with it. So, members, we have here a condition from transportation. You saw it? Regarding the notes, to put notes in the plan. And is there any other question? If there is no question, maybe can I have a motion? Mr. Bartolo?
Mr. Chair, through you, I'd like to put forward a motion to approve this application subject to the conditions noted in the forestry and transportation memos.
Thank you. Second? Ms. Tarodi, all in favor? Your application is approved unanimously with those conditions, forestry and the transportation recommendation. I'd like to mention something here. Would you please convey to the owners that we commend them. It's commendable that they want, and they addressed all the problems of the neighbors before they came to the committee. They got 10 letters of support and addressed the concern with an agreement with one of them. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you very much, and appreciate the conditions from the committee. Have a good day.
Thank you. Item number 14, which is 2 Moore Hill Drive. This application is for to construct a new dwelling. We have forestry 1 and 2, staff report condition to develop in according to the submitted site plan, and TRCA report no objection, 2 letters of concern and 2 letters of support. The applicant here is Janice Robinson, is the agent, I guess. Are you there, Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, could you please?
Yes, I am. Good
Could you
morning.
please state your name and address for our records here?
Good morning. My name is Janice Robinson of Goldberg Group at the address of 2098 Avenue Road, Toronto.
Thank you. And so there is no other person speaking here except you. So let me ask the members, do we need a presentation? Do we need
I appreciate a presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Tarodi. Okay, could you please give us a presentation, and you have 5 minutes, and I'm going to start the clock now.
Yes, this is an application for a proposed new replacement dwelling that's located primarily on the footprint of the existing dwelling. If you could show the drawing in the site plans, that's A00B. And that is a drawing. So that was in the submitted plans when the application was submitted. Anyway, what it shows is that the foundation, the proposed dwelling is going to be primarily on the foundation. There it is. It's the third one in the package, and if you could enlarge it. And what it shows, the areas, you can enlarge it a little bit. So this drawing shows, it's not showing up very well, but what it shows is that the existing footprint of the dwelling is being primarily maintained, and with some small expansions around the edges. The front wall of the dwelling will be maintained, and there'll be some increases, minor increases, where you see the blue is the minor increases to the existing footprint. So, okay, so I'm going to move to the drawings that I submitted. This is a very unique property. If you could go to the property data map that shows, so it's at the beginning of my photographs, the property is 45.5 meters in frontage, whereas a typical lot in this neighborhood is only 15 meters. The air photo that I submitted, which would have come to the committee members, shows that it's there you can see in red the large size of the property. So the next, when we get to the photographs, which is next, that's a 3D air photo. And what it shows, the property is very hidden from the street. It's a very secluded property. And the dwelling itself is not visible from the street. So while they're going to the photographs, the one before that, I think, is the 3D air photo. But anyway, that one, these two photographs 1 and 2 show from the street, looking at it from the north and looking at it from the south, that the house itself isn't even visible from the street except looking in from one of the driveways. So I'm just going to go through, you can scroll through the photos, but I'm going to go through the variances one by one. Variances 1 and 10 are for height. The current height of the dwelling is 10.15 meters, and that's at the top ridge, and the proposed height is 10.34 under bylaw 569/2013. So the difference between the existing and the proposed dwelling will be hardly visible. And that variance is just for the top ridge of the house. The garage height, which is the garages at the north end of the property, will not increase. Variance 2 is for the side exterior wall. That dimension, it's hard when I can't put the plans up, but that dimension is measured to the top peak on the north elevation. And it is extremely similar to the existing condition. So there really won't be a visible change showing. Variance 3 is with respect to the length. And that variance relates to the length of the house through the garage. The majority of the house is only about 10 meters in length. The length is increasing by about 0.5 meters in the front and about 1.5 meters in the rear. Well, there's the dimension showing. This elevation here shows the dimension of the side wall, and you can see how it's measured to the peak. That's the 9.79 in variance 2. The current garage configuration on the property is being maintained. Variance 4 is for the front yard setback, and that's measured to the front of the garage. It's presently 3.6 meters to the front lot line, and when the house is reconstructed, it'll be 4.1 meters.
Can you please think of summarizing? You're approaching the 5 minutes.
Okay, so variance 5 relates to the setback to the north lot line. I note that that variance is being, that's actually an increase in the front setback, because presently it's 0.63 and what's proposed is 0.89. And the neighbors sent in a letter, the neighbors to the north on Bennington, and they asked about the trees along the north boundary, and those trees will all be maintained.
Okay, we have those letters, so I'd appreciate if you summarize and finish. You have
okay.
So that's it.
In my opinion, so my submission to the committee is that these variances are all minor, that they reflect the existing conditions with a few minor revisions. Planning staff had no concerns, primarily for that reason, and they've requested a condition which we agree to.
Okay, so I'm asking you to I ask you to stop, please. I don't like to cut you off, but we have lots of other things to do here. Can you, members, do you have any question? No question? Okay, can I have a motion, please? Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I accept the explanations provided by the applicant here today. A picture tells 1,000 words, and I appreciated showing us what was existing versus the minor expansions that have taken place. And I think that had the 2 letters of concern probably seen that, it may have been dismissed. So I do want to acknowledge that there were 2 letters of concerns that shared my concerns, but now it's been alleviated based on the presentation. So I will make a motion to approve this application, and I will make it number 1, subject to the staff report of August 10th, that the proposal be developed in substantial accordance with the site plan drawing attached to the report. and it will be subject to forestry.
Thank you. Second, Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. So your application is unanimously approved, subject to the two conditions, one forestry and the other one is the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is the agent registered here? For number 15? It shows no agent, okay. Number 15, item number 15, which is 8 Weatherfield Place. Construct a new dwelling, 5 variances, and just forestry condition 2 and 3. So we have here one person registered beside the agent. So Mr. Malik Zadi.
Yes,
are you there?
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we hear you. Could you please state your name and your own address for the records here?
My name is Ali Malik, and I'm at 236 Lesmond Road.
Thank you.
In Toronto.
Yes, thank you. So, because we have another person registered here, we need you to make a presentation, and I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay?
Thank you. This is very a normal proposal we have for the new 2-story dwelling we are proposing in this address. I would like to just provide some indication on variance number 2, which is the main exterior main wall height. If we can see the side elevation from the submitted drawing, I'm referring to drawing A23. So our main wall height on the side is meet the minimum requirement of 7.5, but this variance is related to the some of the projection at the front of the house that is being seen on the side elevation as well, and then that's by the definition is impacting to the main wall height. So this variance is related to this projection on the roof, as you see on the side, right side of the side elevation. There is 2 projection on the right and the left of the middle of the wall. The other thing is variance number 4, which is the side yard setback. This is just related to the canopy of over the garage at the front of the house, that canopy is just projecting to the side yard setback by just 35 centimeters. So we have like almost a foot projecting, as you see at the front elevation on the left side over the garage. That's a projection we have because it's wrapped around the front and the side of the house. The last one is just the midpoint of the roof under the old bylaw, which number 5 and number 1 is aligned with the almost previous approval of this committee in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. So we any question for this in the meantime? The agent is coming back. We have here one speaker, to Tom Atkins. Are you there? Mr. Atkins?
Mr. Chair and members, there is no Tom Atkins present.
Okay, so he didn't come. All right. So we don't have any other speaker. Any questions for this for the agent? No questions? Can I have a motion, please? Motion, Ms. Atarodi.
So through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with the forestry condition.
Forestry, thank you. Second, Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? Okay, your application is approved, subject to forestry, unanimously, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Have a day too. Number 16, which is a 413 Drury Avenue. 413 Drury Avenue to construct for members. This is to construct a new dwelling. There are 6 variances. Forestry, condition 1, 2. Transportation recommends to refuse application August 7 due to variance number 3. And the councillor wants to recommends to refuse variance to the coverage for lot coverage, and in support of the transportation, refuse variance number 3 and 8. So, and there are subsequent letters from the agent which changing the coverage to 32 and balcony area to 9.6 square meters. So, Mr. Zabzouni? Yeah,
Good afternoon,
are you
Mr.
there?
Chair.
Okay, could you
Yes,
please
I am
state
here.
could you please state your name and address for the records?
My name is Marin Zabzouni. I am the agent for 413 Drury Avenue.
Okay, yeah, we have another speaker here to online. Is this speaker online here too, Mr.
Mr. Chair and members, the local area resident is not
Is
on the
not.
line.
Okay, so we have just you and members. Do we need the presentation? Yes, Ms. Sankar, thank you. Yeah, could you please give us a presentation? You have 5 minutes, and tell us your tell us the what you propose for your application.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we're proposing a 2-story new dwelling. We've actually been working closely with city planning, and we made revisions to meet their recommendations in June. And we did send those revisions and the new zoning notice. However, there was a mishap at the city where they didn't update or upload the latest drawings and zoning notice until recently. So essentially, we reduced the lot coverage, item number 6, from 32.4% to 32%. We also reduced the building length on item number 5 from 19.73 meters to 19.49 meters. And we reduced item number 7, the balcony area, from 12.14 meters squared to 9.6 meters squared. In regards to the driveway, if you look at the site plan, the curb cut and most of the driveway from city property going into the private lane is 6 meters wide, and it only tapers out towards the garage, as we want to use the excess storage for bicycle racks inside and toys and storage for the family, essentially. Other than that, the driveway would meet the criteria for the most part, and there's a lot of wide driveways, wide garage areas in the property. There's even a 3-car garage on 407 Drury. There's a church across the street that has a lot of driveway access and parking. So we believe, working with the planner, we made the project work and fit the area. We also proposing wood composite slats on the garage area to hide the garage doors for architectural feature, so that we can tone down the impact even further. And we have planning support. We've spoken with neighbors. We haven't gotten any concern for this proposal, and we believe it fits the area.
That's it. Thank you. Members, any question for this agent? Ms. Sankar, please go ahead.
Sure, Mr. Chair. I am confused. So now I did realize you've reduced the lot coverage to 32%. And I think the numbers you were calling, the variance numbers were a little different, or unless I didn't get it correct, 32%, that's variance number 6.
Yes.
Right? I didn't really get the other two. You were saying variance number 9, but when I was looking at it, I thought that's the height, and I didn't know if you had done something about that. I would need you to, number 1, go through the changes you made, and number 2, I realize that that addresses the counselor letter. I understand forestry will apply, but what I'm concerned about, and I'm wondering if that's what you addressed in the changes as well, is number 3 and 8, the transportation comments, because despite the fact that you did work closely with planning such that we don't have a staff report, transportation is a totally separate and distinct entity and organization. And so I would like to understand how you propose satisfying their concerns.
Yes, so
Yeah.
so it wasn't item number 9 that we changed, it was item number 5, 6, and 7. So item number 5 has been reduced the building length to 19.49 meters, and this is more to the breakfast nook at the back. That's the one-story portion. The majority of the house is actually less than 17 meters. Item number 6 is reduced to 32%, and item number 7 is reduced to 9.6 meters squared for the balcony area. In regards to transportation, we have the curb cut reduced and the front portion of the driveway to 6 meters, and it only tapers a little bit towards the house. We're happy to work with transportation if they have any further concern from there. But in terms of the access, it does comply with the 6 meter portion. It's only towards the wall that's further wider. And it is a very wide lot too. It's just we need that for kind of maneuvering bicycle racks and the extra storage. Other than that, the majority of the driveway, as indicated and shown on the site plan, is 6 meters.
Okay, thank you. Number 7, you said you're reducing it to 9 points, how much?
9.6 meters squared.
6 meters, okay, thank you. Any other question? No? Okay, can I have a motion, please? And, okay, Ms. Sankar, and introduce those changes in it.
Okay, not a problem. Through you, Mr. Chair. I've listened to the explanations provided by the applicant and him working through staff to make the necessary changes, and then explaining the transportation's concerns, and I accept those explanations and I appreciate that. So I will put forward a motion to approve this application. It will be subject to forestry, and I will accept the changes that you've made here today, such that variance number 5 is reduced to 19.49 meters, variance number 6 is reduced to 32%, and variance number 7 has been reduced to 9.6 squared meters.
Thank you.
Right?
And,
So-
yeah, very good, that's clear. Any second, Ms. Tarodi?
Yeah, yes, I would like to first have a friendly amendment regarding that if it's possible, we tie it to the site plan drawing A1 so that it will explain a lot, that it will address the transportation concern.
Are you okay,
I
Ms.
accept
Sankar?
Mr. Rodi's-
Okay,
I accept that.
thank you.
So that's seconded.
As Ms. Tarodi seconded, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. Okay, your application unanimously approved based on those changes and the conditions, including the last one to attach to site plan, okay? So it's all done for the morning?
Thank you very much.
Okay. We're, how do we, can we cut off? No, I mean, that's it. No, I mean here, should I just close this here? We're back at 1 o'clock for the rest of the agenda, and I think we're just 15 minutes late.
Not too bad.
So have a nice lunch, and
1
we
o'clock.
start at 1 o'clock. Okay?